Mayberry's just going to turn into a regular sin town.
Evil will come, Ray. The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win. Now the 2-1. Line drive to the base hit. Just as the score of the tying run. Green to the plate. And he is safe. Safe at the plate. The Braves go to the World Series.
Have reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines that sat when they were children and cheered their heroes.
Gibson swings and a fly ball to deep right field. This is going to be a home run. Unbelievable!
A 3-run home run for Bucky Dent. The Yankees now lead it by a score of 3-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mazeroski has hit a 1-0 pitch over the left field fence at Ford Field to win the 1960 World Series.
They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past.
The Pope arrived at Yankee Stadium. As one enthusiastic announcer put it, he is standing on second base.
Reggie Jackson. Ball drive right field. It is. Goodbye. Big World Series.
The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run.
Bracket throws. There's a left back. It's going to be, I believe, the Giants from the pennant. The Giants from the pennant. The Giants from the pennant.
The 0-1 pitch. A liner off Nagy's glove into center field. The Florida Marlins have won the World Series.
The memories will be so thick that I can brush them away with the faces.
The 1-0 delivery to Fisk. He swings, long drive, left field. If it stays fair, it's gone. Home run. The Red Sox win. And the series is...
Lolich fires. Ball is hit high in the air. This should be the series. Freehand waving everybody away in foul territory. Detroit wins. Here's the pitch to Willie.
There's a liner straight to Richardson. The ball game is over and the World Series is over. Willie McCovey hit it like a bullet. A line drive right.
Baseball to mark the time.
The Oakland A's take. I'll tell you what, we're having an earth.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Candlestick Park for Game 3 of the 1989 World Series.
It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again.
Frank Robinson, the right-hand batter.
Long drive to left field. Way back. This is goodbye. Home run.
Base hit loaded, 1 out. Pena in a chance. The Twins are going to win the World Series. The Twins have won it.
Ozzie with 1 out. Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run. And the
Willie Mays just brought this crowd to its feet with a catch, which must have been an optical illusion to a lot of people.
This field, this game, is a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again.
Broadcasted live.
Who wants to have some fun?
There are balls coming from all over the place. Left field, center field, right field. See, this is the kind of thing, quite honestly, right now, that makes you want to see the Chicago Cubs team lose.
Now, you just saying you want to have fun, or do you really want to have fun?
It'll be fun.
Will the next person that sees anybody throw anything onto this field, point them out, or get them out of here? You don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
That is the farthest thing in the universe from the truth.
Hello, everyone, live. It's the Dan Scott Show. And right there is your host, Dan Scott.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Friday edition of the program. I am your host, Dan Scott, and we're very happy to have you with us after 2 days in the not quite fully constructed home studio because of the weather. We're back here on campus at Furman University. It is a beautiful day, sunshine, blue skies, and, man, we're going to warm up today. By the time we are through this weekend, it's going to be baseball weather, and oddly enough, and perhaps somewhat calculated, we're going to be talking some baseball in the show today as Brett Harker, the Furman baseball coach, will join us here in studio coming up at 10:25 this morning, the first of what will be, I think the technical term is a slew of visits between now and the end of baseball season. But anyway, I hope that your day is off to a good start. You know our mantra around here, if it's going well, we'll try not to do anything to screw it up. And if it's not going well, then maybe we can do something to provide you with a little bit of a lift. Bottom line, our goal, day in, day out, is to try and learn something we did not know. And I always qualify and say that it's easier for some of us than it is for the others, because we have an awful lot of message. Message? Yeah, I've got a message here, so you can see how my brain works. Just got a test alert from the Rave alert system. I have no idea what that is, but anyway, see how easily sidetracked I am. I'm like a dog. I mean, I'm going along. Squirrel. Story of my life. On the show today, we mentioned Brett Harker will be here. We're going to recap Furman's tough loss basketball-wise last night at Timmons Arena, 62-61 to ETSU. Only the second conference loss at home for the Paladins in their last 21 games at Timmons Arena. That's how good this program has been at home over the last couple of seasons in league play. And ETSU snuck out with a win last night. And then we're going to look ahead to a busy weekend, which is going to include more basketball here on campus and, of course, around the country from a national standpoint. It's also going to include the AFC, NFC championship games in the NFL and just an incredible amount of stuff. And as we are creeping closer to the beginning of the collegiate baseball season, we're also creeping closer that same week to pitchers and catchers reporting at spring training camps for the major leagues all across Florida and Arizona. So it's getting towards my time of year. And, I always jokingly say that everything else I do is to just bide time until we get to baseball season. And there is a modicum of truth to that. But, the hashtag that I've been using a lot lately is hashtag love my job. I do. I really do. And last night was another one of those instances. We got a chance to call a thriller on ESPN3. Bryant Lambert and I did for the Furman ETSU game. Unfortunately, the Paladins came up a point short as DeSante Bradford hit a shot with 4.5 seconds to go to give ETSU the lead and ultimately the win. But it was just an incredible physical, hard-fought basketball game that came down to the wire like we thought it was going to. And I thought that, again, I'm very lucky and blessed to do what I do and to get to do it at a place like Furman University. So you're going to hear coming up in just a little bit from head coach Bob Ritchie. You're going to hear from Daniel Fowler in their post-game press conferences, and we'll have some thoughts and comments on the game from last night as well. Also got a chance to call my first women's game of the season, and ETSU won that one as well over Jackie Carson's club. Interestingly, both teams fell behind by double digits and tried to fight their way back. The men from 12 points down did come back and take the lead, couldn't hold it. The ladies from 17 down got to within 5 and missed a boatload of opportunities to not only wipe out that remaining 5 points, but probably take a lead of maybe 4 or 6 points. Couldn't hit shots, missed some free throws, and basically ran out of gas toward the end of the game. But got a chance to do both of those last night, and that'll be a precursor coming up. Just a little heads up. On February the 10th, another men's-women's doubleheader. The women will open play against Western Carolina here at Timmons, followed by the men against Wofford. And both of those games will be broadcast live on Channel 62 here in the upstate in Western North Carolina. And Bryant Lambert and I will be bringing you both of those broadcasts. So we're looking forward to that. That'll be fun to get Furman some exposure on TV here in the area, and just kind of circle your calendars. We'd love to have Timmons Field and show what a great atmosphere that place has become for both of those games. Our show, as always, is brought to you by the Atlanta Bread Company, located in Cherrydale Plaza, just down the road from campus here. And cold weather means warm chili, warm soup, hot sandwiches and paninis, hot beverages, you name it, they've got it, man. It is outstanding stuff to warm your soul on these cold days. The food is great, the people are better, and they have gone above and beyond to help get this show off the ground and keep it sustainable for the first year plus of our livelihood here. So thank them for what they do for the show, for their continued support of Furman University, and enjoy the great food and great service you get from the Atlanta Bread Company, Cherrydale Plaza here in Greenville. More about them in this commercial set. We'll come back and we'll let you hear from head coach Bob Ritchie and senior Daniel Fowler on Furman's loss last night to ETSU, 62-61 at Timmons Arena. All that and more coming up right after this.
Hey Furman fans, it's baseball season. Here at Ingalls, we know that as you root for the home team, sometimes you want more than just peanuts and Cracker Jack. And while we do deliver on your favorite ballpark classics, we're proud to offer a packed lineup of everything you need to make your next meal a home run. Ingalls, a proud sponsor of Furman Baseball and the official grocery store of Furman Athletics. Go Dins!
The Atlanta Bread Company at Cherrydale Point offers a dining experience that will have you coming back for more time and time again. Everything is freshly made on site, including the different varieties of bread and all the baked goodies. And the menu, Atlanta Bread Company offers a wide variety from hot soups and chili to hot and cold sandwiches and paninis. Even breakfast selections topped off with your choice of piping hot coffees. Come see for yourself. You'll love it. The Atlanta Bread Company at Cherrydale Point, proud sponsors of the Furman Paladins and the Dan Scott Show.
Looking for a good lunch spot in the Travelers Rest area? The Cafe at Williams Hardware is your place. Williams Hardware has food for the whole family, from the famous Reuben to the barbecue chicken quesadilla and their daily lunch specials, which includes the award-winning BLT on pimento cheese with pepper jelly, served Tuesday to Thursday. Williams Hardware also serves breakfast on Saturdays from 8 to 11, perfect before Furman home game. And don't forget the gift shop, which offers items for anyone on your list. Go see your friends at the Cafe at Williams Hardware, 13 South Main Street in downtown TR. Full menu and operating hours at the Cafe at WilliamsHardware.com.
So you've got a busted phone or tablet screen. Time to get a new device? Nope. Time to give it CPR. CPR cell phone repair at Cherrydale can repair almost any phone or tablet screen on the market and usually can do it same day. In fact, if you have an iPhone, the fix usually takes less than an hour. CPR cell phone repair also can fix computers and gaming systems, both screens and hard drives. And they sell refurbished devices and new accessories. Stop by and see the new owner, Janet Culver, today and check them out on Facebook. That's CPR cell phone repair at Cherrydale, 864-282-9097. Give it CPR today. All right, welcome back to the show. It is 10:11 a.m. on a Friday, the 19th day of January already. Can you believe that we're basically into the last part of the month of January in this first month of 2018, and time just keeps on ticking away. If you have not visited Hall's Chop House lately or at all, you need to do so. Located downtown Greenville, the Greenville Steakhouse, and we've been telling you, it starts with the steaks, man. The Allen Brothers Prime Steaks out of Chicago, and everything else on the menu falls into place from there. Great meeting space. If you have a corporate event, if you have a birthday, anniversary, whatever it is, they can handle it. They're open 7 nights a week for dinner, open for brunch on Sundays. Live music every time the doors are open, and when the weather's warm enough, they have an outdoor patio for you to enjoy as well. And again, waiting for Billy to let us know, but it looks like either Tuesday or Thursday of next week, we are going to be live that evening at the show, or at Hall's Chop House, with a special PM edition of the Dan Scott Show, and we're looking forward to that. That's Hall's Chop House, located downtown, the Greenville Steakhouse. Please tell them you heard about them here on the show. Well, last night the Paladins fell 62-61 to ETSU. Again, only the second loss in the last 21 home conference games for Furman at Timmons Arena. And it looked for all the world like, after really struggling offensively in the latter portion of the first half and to start the second half, they got things cranked up and overcame a 12-point deficit to take a lead. Did a lot of that with Devin Sibley out with a dislocated pinky finger, and held the lead until DeSante Bradford hit a shot with 4.5 seconds to go to put ETSU up one, and a desperation 3 attempt by Daniel Fowler as time expired was off the mark, and the Paladins fell 62-61. So ETSU remains undefeated in league play. They're now 6-0. Furman is 4-2 in the Southern Conference. Afterwards, it was Bob Ritchie addressing the media, and here are his comments.
Well, obviously a tough ending right there, and something that, as sports, I thought the guys battled back hard. I thought they showed a lot of courage, a lot of heart. They're late, especially in the second half. And, he made the shot, and, he's a really, really good player, and we figured the ball was going to be in his hands, and we had Daniel on him, and we'd done a good job for the most part. And, nice pivot on his part, nice play, and, 4 seconds left. They have a 1-3-1 that's really extended. We thought that if we called timeout, they were going to go to that, and 4 seconds was going to be hard to get a shot off. And so we wanted to quick out it, but we wanted to get our floor spaced much quicker, and we failed to do that, and didn't really get a good look there. So we got to bounce back quickly. Got another one on Saturday. I did like the courage. I did like the heart that we showed to battle back. We were just really passive and stagnant offensively in the first half, but showed some life and just couldn't quite get it done in.
It seemed like early on you were kind of trading threes, and then I think you were like 2 for 16 to the rest of the way, and then they had a little stretch where they missed a bunch too, and then they made a few. But anyway, just what was kind of the key to, before Saturday you were the best team in the conference at defending the three. What's kind of been, I know the competition has ramped up significantly in the past 2 games. I guess they were 42% tonight. But what's kind of been the key for your perimeter defense the last 2 games?
Yeah, you know, they hit 9 tonight off of 21 attempts, which is obviously pretty good, and that's not been part of our formula for being successful. I thought that they caught us a lot, especially in the first half when hands down, and we didn't do a good job. Again, so worried about their penetrators, and they do. They got 4 guys that can just deck it. And a lot of times when you're guarding guys like that, the tendency is to give them that gap, but you can't give them that gap with dead hands. And I thought there was just too many possessions. It felt like they hit 3 or 4 just late clock, and you know, it's those are heartbreakers. You know, when you guard for 26, 27, 28 seconds, and all of a sudden you got a guy with hands down, he just hits a 3. But perimeter defense from the 3-point line was not good. I thought we guarded the ball off the bounce pretty well, but we gave up some threes that are a little bit uncharacteristic of us.
Yeah. I thought after he had a couple of not so-so games in SoCon, I thought John Davis really played well.
John Davis played with a lot of confidence and got us going against, you know, their pressure and really got the ball in the paint. And then I think Daniel started kind of flowing off of that, and Devin, they all started getting a little bit more aggressive off the bounce. And you know, it's look, when they play aggressive, they're different players, and it's on both ends of the floor. And fortune usually favors the aggressor. We know that. They know that. But their pressure just got us all out of sorts, and the shots weren't going down in that stretch, and we just weren't cutting hard, and the ball wasn't moving. But you say all that, and then you fight all the way back, and you know, it's hard. It's hard, but you know, we'll get through it. We'll bounce back. This group will go to bed tonight. Sun's going to come up in the morning, and we'll be full Sanford prep mode and on to the next one. And that's the way you got to go in league. You got to keep moving.
You're so used to winning here now, after years of not, but that's what you do here now. And I know fans are going to think like this, and that's fine. But what do you take to not think, all right, now we have to win one on the road, because you go out to win them all anyway? But is it any kind of mindset, well, we've lost this one at home, we got to find a way to make up for it somewhere on the road?
No, I just think you just focus on the next game, and you know, you just got to take them one by one. And look, I mean, that's heck, Andy Katz put them in the top 40 this week. You know, let's not act like that's I mean, that's a really, really, really good team right there that had Xavier down by 22 at one point in the season. So, you know, they do a great job. They've recruited well. They got good players. They're old. They play really hard. They're basically in the top 98 percentile in defense. And you know, we fought. We just came up short, and so we got to regroup. We got to move on to the next.
How is Devin Sibley?
We'll find out more tomorrow. Nothing specific or concrete at this point.
Okay. And last question. It seems like Devin gets called for some offensive fouls early in the games. Maybe has kind of a negative effect on his first halves, especially this year so far. Do you have any kind of, is that kind of hard for kind of what to do kind of way?
Yeah, you know, I mean, obviously I can't comment on refereeing. We got to continue. Devin, I thought he did a good job battling back in the second half, and really got going there offensively for a second. But you know, the game is really mental, and you got to get to the next play. And you know, refs are human; they're going to make some mistakes, and they're going to get They're going to get most of their calls right, and whatever they call, you just got to go with it. And you know, it's just you can't control that whistle. You know, you can't control that whistle. And I think that Devin just has to keep moving forward. You know, keep moving forward, just getting on to the next play, and understanding that's why they give you 5 of them.
All right, that was Bob Ritchie after the game on or last night over at Timmons Arena, and Furman falls 62-61 to ETSU. If we have time, we'll get Daniel Fowler in a little bit later on in the program, but right now we need to step out for a quick break, and when we come back, Brett Harker will be live in studio, and we will talk some baseball on the other side. This is the Dan Scott Show, and we'll return in just a moment.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, finances, insurance? Then let State Farm agent Steve Borkland in Traveler's Rest help you simplify and get to a better state. Because with Steve handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time for everything else. more money too, because adding State Farm policies could mean earning discounts worth up to 40%. That's money Steve can help you put towards a college savings plan. Call State Farm agent Steve Borkland today and get to a better state with State Farm.
Let me tell you something, Cowboy. This rookie can really bring the heat.
He's smoky and spicy with a Chipotle style all his own.
It's a new Montgomery Inn Chipotle barbecue sauce. Make it a part of your home team.
Available now at your neighborhood grocer or online at CincyFavorites.com.
The madness begins here. Make sure you're at the U.S. Cellular Center in Asheville, North Carolina, March 1st through 5th for the 2018 SoCon Basketball Championships presented by General Shale. Watch your favorite SoCon teams compete for a championship and a berth in the NCAA tournament, and take part in exciting events like the Downtown Dribble and the Ingles Jam Fest. Book your travel and tickets by logging on to SoConHoops.com or by contacting the U.S. Cellular Center box office. The madness begins in Asheville. Get your tickets today.
Well, we're back, I think. Are you okay over there?
I'm working on it.
Let me just pull it that way.
I mean, I gotta do everything around here, Dad.
Well, it's the way it goes sometimes, man. Coming in here, knocking my stuff over.
My bad.
This is Brett Harker as we welcome you back to the Friday edition of the Dan Scott Show. The official baseball practice starts end of next week, 26th, right?
On Friday, that's correct.
1 week from today, as a matter of fact. And next thing you know, we'll be throwing the first pitch at Latham Stadium and getting the 2018 baseball season underway. How you doing?
Doing well. I think this was my first night of sleep where I got more than 3 hours of sleep with baby Hudson. He's just a little over a month old. And him and Mama are doing well, just not sleeping a whole lot in the Harker household. The silver lining of that is I got an espresso machine for Christmas, and it's getting worn out pretty well. A matter of fact, I loved it so much I bought one for my office. So I now am I'm a proud owner of 2 espresso machines. So I got it going. I'm actually doing really well. I'm a little jacked up right now.
I'm starting to get that impression. Yeah, since the last time we've talked to you, the new baby has come along, and great that he's doing well. Mama's doing well, and already got the letter of intent ready for him to sign for 2000 and whatever, right?
Yeah, Mike Buddy went ahead and shot that out, and I think it was 2032 or something like that. But I don't know if he's better have his mama's test-taking skills to fly at Furman. We'll put it that way. No, but he's doing well, and God's good, blessing us with a baby boy, and Emma's been an unbelievable big sister to him, and it's been fun. It's been fun to see.
Good. Well, as things are going well in the Harker household, obviously things went well in year one of the Brett Harker tenure at Furman University's baseball program, and now gearing up for season number 2. How different has this offseason been for you than your first offseason last year?
It's been very, very different. Obviously, you're trying to create momentum with your first offseason, get everybody bought in, and basically make that transition of the guard be smooth. And then you have a bunch of success your first year, and then the goal becomes, how do we sustain this momentum? You don't want to just let it fizzle out and become complacent. So that was the biggest thing, is keeping that momentum rolling, keeping the fan base excited, and most of all, just keeping the boys believing in what we're here to do, and which is the ultimate goal, which I'm sure everybody gets tired of hearing me say, but it's ended up 1,076 miles away from Latham Stadium, which is Omaha, Nebraska. And gosh, if you're not dreaming that big, why are we doing what we're doing,
You said something to me, it's been a week or so ago during a conversation we were having, that we're going to keep acting like we're a program bigger than we are, and eventually we're going to become that program.
Yeah, that's just the way I think it should be done. And the more people you get bought into that, you continue to get better recruits. And the bottom line is, if you have the right kids on the field and get the right leadership, you play 9 innings. All you got to do is touch home plate more than the other guy. It's not that complicated of a game. It doesn't matter what name they have on the front of their jersey. If we touch home plate more than them, eventually we get to go to Omaha. And that's our mindset, and that's the way we're going to run as long as I'm around here.
Makes it sound so simple. Sounds so simple. Beyond just the continuing and building the momentum for you personally, walking into the situation last year as a first-time head coach, I would imagine that everything, I don't know if easier is the right word, but fewer things to catch you off guard maybe as you head into season 2?
Yeah, I would say so. And there's so many little things. And I was actually, and I've mentioned this a couple times, Todd Interdonato, Wofford's head coach, my Darth Maul, my nemesis, is actually my neighbor. He lives 2 houses down. So we talk on a daily basis. And one of his biggest things is it's a crash course. Once you become a head coach, it's a crash course. And every day you're learning what you would learn in a couple years as an assistant. And it's because, there's no manual. They don't hand you a script when you become head coach. And there's so many things that you need to learn. It's funny. You think you know the game of baseball because it's all I've ever done. And then all of a sudden, you're dealing with pinch hitters and DHs and stuff that you typically don't deal with unless you're a head coach, and it's just a crash course. There's a lot of things to learn, and just continue learning every day.
And not only that, but you're dealing with guys who think they should be getting more playing time, guys, and it's just the nature of the beast as a head coach. You're the one that, they say that crap flows downhill.
Yeah.
So it starts with you, and a lot of times it's going to end with you as well.
I think one of the biggest things, and me and my wife talk about it all the time, is how much of my job has nothing to do with what happens on the diamond.
Yeah.
And when you have, by the time you add in your coaches and support staff, when you're in charge of 40-plus people, a very small part of your job has to deal with the 56 games you play. And that's what's fun, though. You feel like you're creating a culture and you're creating something so much bigger than any one person, including myself. That's a lot of fun, and that's fun to buy into.
Yeah, and that's why I try to make sure that you don't have to be in charge of me except for the course of the baseball season itself. You don't have to deal with me during the off season.
That's Dan. There's nothing you could say more kind to me than that.
This is Brett Harker. He is the second-year baseball coach here at Furman University. As you came out of the fall, I know you were very optimistic. That's your mindset anyway.
Right.
But you were very optimistic about what you saw, and starting with the core of your team. You lose Carter Grote, which is going to be a huge loss for this team. You lose Cam Whitehead, but by and large, everybody else is back. So you're going to have a solid 8 or 9, even with the DH of guys who have a lot of experience and have played and won a lot of baseball games.
Yeah, I would think some of the strengths of our team are going to be our outfield depth. We have a really good returning outfield. Jabari Richards moving from right field to left field. He's a completely different human being in left field. I feel like an idiot for not doing that move sooner. He's done really, really well. And then, obviously, Landon Kay out there is as good as they get.
Well, there was a guy in left field named Carter Grote.
Yeah, he was pretty good, too.
Yeah.
But you would think at least in practice or something we would have tried Jabari over there. And then you have David Webble returning. He had that injury last year. He was a spark plug as a freshman. We're excited about his sophomore campaign. And then I continue to tell you, a name to keep on your radar is Ben Anderson. The kid came in from the Atlanta area, played for the 643 organization, which is one of the best in the country. And the kid is just a flat-out ball player. He's a guy that will have a chance to play for a long time in his pro career. He's an all-around very, very good baseball player. And then I would say the next one is, anytime you lose 2/3 of your weekend rotation, people are sitting there going, man, you lose Gaddis and Quarles. What are you guys going to do? I feel really good about our starting rotation. Really excited about that. We're just going to need our bullpen to step up, and I feel like every mid-major says that, and a lot of Power 5 say that as well. The pieces are there in the bullpen, just maybe not the experience being there. So we have a chance to be really good. I'll tell you, as I get reminded every day, we have a very challenging schedule. It's going to be fun, but I think we got the right pieces in place to have success in that schedule. as long as we're gritty. If we become complacent and become soft and think that, we got some experienced players, we're going to roll out there and win, we won't be very successful. But if we go into it thinking we're the underdog and have something to prove and go out there and just be tough, I think we got a chance to be good.
Yeah, we always talk about, well, you win the midweek and win the non-conference games to help get toward that magic 40. Well, your non-conference games this year include the usual 2 with Clemson, the usual 2 with South Carolina, a 3-game series with North Carolina State, and a 3-game series at Wichita State.
And you're mixing in Charleston again this year. Yeah. We haven't done that in a while. It's a good challenge. It really is. And like, I continue to tell everybody the names that don't jump off the page, which is just because down here we don't know much about the North, but Marist and Delaware State, they were both regional teams and won their conference and almost snuck out of that regional, beating some big boys. So one of the most interesting stats is 11 of our first 12 games are against regional teams. The one game that's not in our first 12 is the University of South Carolina, which they're pretty good too.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, they're okay. So it's a great challenge. It's one that honestly, in my 4 years here, we always play a good schedule. I don't know if we've ever played one like this. It's a different take at it. Let's see how battle tested we can be. So maybe when we run into UNCG and that offense, because, look, they're good. I've had several scouts tell me that they're one of the best teams in the Southeast that they've seen. When we run into them, we're not going to be shocked because we've been playing quality opponents all year. And the bottom line is we need to win the Southern Conference to get into a regional and shock somebody and make our trip to Omaha.
You talked about replacing 2/3 of your rotation. The one guy you have back is Grant Sherman, who from about the 3rd point of the season last year was just phenomenal. He and Gaddis just gave you an incredible 1-2 punch. Coming out of the fall, your intention was Heath Hawkins and Jake Crawford in 2 and 3 or 3 and 2.
Right.
Is that still the plan going forward?
Yeah, that seems to be, and it'll all shake out here towards the end. The easiest job I have is writing out the starting lineup because the guys prove who should be there. But as of right now, when we left break, that was kind of the way those 3 had taken over. And Hunter Baker, give credit where credit is due. The kid went this offseason, lost a ton of weight, looked like he basically turned his work ethic completely around, and honestly, statistically, had the most dominant fall of anybody we had on the mound. So if he can continue to do that and keep Nick Verbeck healthy, those are 2 options that you have for starters as well. And that's why I sit there and say, as long as those guys stay healthy and do what they have done this fall, I actually think we have more depth in starting pitching this year than we had last year. Now, when I told Coach Davis that, I thought he was going to fight me because we lost Gaddis and Quarles. But I'm just talking about pure depth. I feel like, that's 5 or 6 guys. When you include Matthew Lazaro, the freshman, that reminds me of what Sherman was as a freshman. Just can mix speeds, keeps the ball low. You mix in that guy too, and you're sitting there going, we got a chance that all you got to do is have 4. And we got to, that I just named 6 or 7 of them. We have a chance, but they got to do it when the lights turn on. And we understand that. Lord knows I know that.
Yeah.
But going into it, it seems like more options to me, which then spills over to those guys that don't become our 4, can become long relief or options to shorten up the game on the back half of it.
So you're taking Hawkins out of the bullpen, and over the last third of the season a year ago, he was just dominant. I don't think anybody will forget the game on Sunday that sent it to a winner-take-all, him coming out of the bullpen 1st and 3rd, nobody out, against that great offensive team of Greensboro and striking out 3 successive hitters. I'm just getting chill bumps again thinking about it.
And thinking about the way he pitches with emotion and I got goosebumps running up my body right now too. It's he's an exciting kid to have on the mound because of what he brings, and it'll be interesting to see him do that and be able to sustain that for 5, 6, 7, hopefully 8 innings,
So you're taking him out of the bullpen, and that's a big piece there to put him into the rotation. So, what is your bullpen looking like, and how many of those young arms do you think really have a chance to make a significant contribution?
Yeah, and it's all going to shake out on, like I said, I named all those potential starters. Obviously, when the 4 shake out, The other ones will immediately fall into first out of the pen. And then Tyler Kimbrell, who had a good year for us last year, is healthy. He'll be a big part of it. I will tell you a dark horse that emerged out of absolutely nowhere, and I think is going to be a huge part. And honestly, I don't know in what capacity, but Logan Taplett has become the jack of all trades. He's done really, really well behind the plate. He plays a ridiculous third base while Jake is pitching, and we stuck the guy on the bump because he pitched in high school, and he's a 90, 91 kind of guy with a sharp slider, so he could be a potential late inning guy as well. We got a guy by the name of Seth Chestnut that coming out of high school, he had what I thought was not even close to the best breaking ball in South Carolina. So that's a guy that you can bring in there and spin it for an inning or two and really give some guys some troubles. So we got some options. Jordan Beatson is a freshman that's a sidearm guy that throws pretty hard from down low. And I think we have some different options and some guys that I think are just naive enough to not care. And that's a big thing. Like they're not making the moment bigger than it is. Roll them out there and see. And you want them to have early success just so they can build some confidence and realize that doesn't matter if you're playing at Yankee Stadium, Latham Stadium, or your high school field. Once the game starts, it's 60 feet 6 inches, and the rest is obsolete. You're battling against that guy, and that's the mentality. We try and compete every day, whether we're playing foosball in the back or whether we're at practice. So when a game rolls around and we're at Clemson, it's just another day of competing and not get shell-shocked.
Visiting you with Brett Harker here in studio as we preview the beginning of baseball practice a week from today. It'll open up at Latham Stadium, and then the season opens up February the 16th, that Friday. It's always the same week that pitchers and catchers report to spring training in the big leagues.
A lot of baseball, yeah.
So looking forward to that. When people come to Latham Stadium this season, they are going to notice even more upgrades. The place looks fantastic. It started with the 888 purple seats that were installed as the season went on last year. Of course, the video scoreboard, and now there's been even more improvements.
Yeah, we put it up. We put up a purple padded wall going all the way down there. There's no more chain link fence to be seen at our stadium, and it gives it more of a pro feel, more of a Power 5 feel. It was a much needed upgrade, both aesthetically and for safety. I mean, we play in a small ballpark, and our outfielders get back to that fence pretty quick. And to be honest with you, that fence might be the oldest thing on campus. It was pretty bad. So we were able to get a really nice fence and put some graphics on it. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest things I've had in this year and a half as head coach is making some decisions on colors. As silly as that sounds, that we were either going to go green chairbacks and green outfield wall and keep it more Wrigley Field-ish, and honestly that was the way I was leaning, and the only way I swayed to purpling out everything was we're just continuing to try to get the best commit the best 16 to 18 year olds in the country, and the bottom line is they like flair, baby. So we decided to go with the Furman purple and bring a pop to our little stadium. I'm a little more traditionalist. I like things being a little more subtle and classy. But I made that decision just because I thought it was another little way that we can continue to advance our program and appeal to the younger generation and bring in better recruits, and stuff like that matters. Mm-hmm. As silly as that sounds, stuff like that matters. And it looks really, really good. It does. We're excited about it.
Yeah, our little ballpark is growing up.
Yeah, it is. And we're looking to add a media/team meeting room to our indoor facility so we can meet as a team and do tier seating so we can go over tape of the upcoming pitcher or maybe things that we did, and we're in the middle of keep our fingers crossed adding a center field camera for our in-game broadcast to put the fan right in the middle of the action and have more of a pro feel while you're watching games streaming at Latham Stadium, which I think would be one of the biggest improvements that we could do for our fans.
New press box.
And a new press box.
Pardon me, I got a little choked up.
If you're out there and you want to give $3 million for a new press box, you let me know.
Yeah, you do that, or get in touch with me, and I'll pass the message along. Yeah, it sounds kind of strange, but from a broadcast standpoint, I'm really happy to see the purple outfield fence. Not that we have a lot of cheapy home runs in our ballpark, especially the left and left center, but when you've got a chain link fence and you can see the grass and everything behind it, sometimes it's hard to tell on a ball that drops right over the fence. Did it drop behind it, or did it drop in front of it? So now it's obvious the ball's going to disappear behind that purple fence. I have enough trouble keeping up with things as it is. I did not need that extra pressure, so thank you.
Yeah, and we did that for you.
I know you did. I know you did. Anything else from a aesthetic standpoint on the horizon?
That's it for right now. We just continue to try and expand our branding, and we're launching a club. Actually, probably at the beginning of next week, you're going to start seeing flyers go out and handwritten notes. We're launching the 1076 Club, and I'm really, really excited about it. It's our version of what Clemson would call their IPTE, or different universities have their versions, and it's letting people invest back into this program, and we have some really cool things. We'll start a club where the different apparel, if you get into the 1076 Club, is Furman baseball, but then it has the 1076 Club decal on it, whether it's stickers for your car, whether it's T-shirts, hoodies, all kinds of really neat things that we're excited about. I haven't formally announced it, but we're doing the Upstate Diamond Classic every other year now. So we will not have an Upstate Diamond Classic this year. We'll have one next year, and the reason is it's planning a 500-person wedding in which you're asking people to come to your wedding and pay for it. That's a big deal. That takes 3 or 4 months of my life, and Coach Smith told me that would be one of my biggest headaches, and he was spot on that one. So I'm trying to take a little off my plate and do it every other year. But this gives people a chance that our fans, our supporters of our program, our alumni that maybe couldn't come back on a Tuesday night in February to come to a dinner, to invest back in our program, and in return get some really cool gear that they can sport and support our program.
Is that, in your view, a calculated risk on your part, because that dinner was set up by Ron all those years ago as a supplement to the baseball budget,
right?
And so you're not going to have it, as you said, you're going to do it every other year. Is that a calculated risk on your part? It
is. I will tell you, as awesome as that event is, and it is, the overhead is it's very, very high. So, if we can get people bought into this program or this 1076 Club, and they get apparel in return and things in return with very little overhead, I think from a business standpoint, it could really financially help our program in a way that the head coach isn't spending 4 months planning it as well. So I think in the long run, it gives more people the opportunity to give back instead of maybe just people in the upstate.
Well, one of the things that we're going to try to do to help that is we're going to start a podcast that will run through the season. And for those who join the 1076 Club, they will get access to that podcast probably via email, 24, 48 hours before it is dropped and goes live for the general public.
Yep, that's something we had talked about, and we'll have to set up the infrastructure of all that, but
I can handle it.
Yeah, I think you can. I think you'll be.
All
able
you
to
have to do is sit down and talk.
There you go.
You don't have to think.
But I think that'd be a cool advantage on people getting to see what's going on in our program. Like you said, we'll figure out the timeline on that, but just a little bit earlier than everybody else.
Yeah, we're visiting with Brett Harker to kind of get a jump on baseball season. Anything? Your staff stayed the same during the off season, which is a little unusual.
It is. All 4 coaches returned. We added a director of baseball ops, Aaron Lesiak. So we actually added to our staff. So we're excited about that. We're a big boy now. We got a director of baseball ops to help out with stuff. But the staff stayed the same, and we're excited about that to continue. Anytime you have any kind of change from your volunteer assistant up, it's just always there's such a break-in period, and when you don't have to have that, it sure does help.
Yeah, I mean the good thing about having Kimmel back for a second year is you've got the natural guy to pick on the bus trips, right?
Yeah, he takes it as well as anybody. He's a champ, man. He does a great job for us.
Yeah, and I just love the dynamic of the coaching staff, and it's a group of young guys.
Yeah,
and normally the dynamic is it's an older guy and a group of young guys, but you're 4 young guys, and somehow you figured out to make it work.
Yeah, well, I'm 33 and I'm the oldest one on staff, so you do the math on that one.
Yeah.
It's fun, and I tell recruits all the time, we're just young enough to keep up with you, so don't try and get anything by on us.
Anything you can do, we've already done. Right?
Absolutely.
All those mistakes. Well, we're looking forward to the season getting underway. Practice starts again a week from today, and pretty soon we'll be on the bus and rolling to various and sundry parts of the world and seeing how this baseball team and this season's going to develop.
Getting on a plane this year, Dan. That's the first one for us in a long time.
Right.
We're excited about that. But if you're interested in the 1076 Club and that's something that perked your interest, please shoot me an email. I'll personally send you some stuff on it. We'll be getting that stuff out probably early next week, and we're really excited about that. I know, Dan, that somewhere out there, my cousin, who's the biggest fan of Furman baseball, Josh Rivera, is listening out there. Josh, we love you, and keep supporting us.
All right, there you go, Brett. Thank you, buddy.
All right, thank you, Dan.
That is baseball coach Brett Harker. We'll be back to close out the show right after this. Don't go away.
Hey, Furman fans, it's baseball season. Here at Ingalls, we know that as you root for the home team, sometimes you want more than just peanuts and Cracker Jack. And while we do deliver on your favorite ballpark classics, we're proud to offer a packed lineup of everything you need to make your next meal a home run. Ingalls, a proud sponsor of Furman Baseball and the official grocery store of Furman Athletics. Go Dins!
The Atlanta Bread Company at Cherrydale Point offers a dining experience that will have you coming back for more time and time again. Everything is freshly made on site, including the different varieties of bread and all the baked goodies. And the menu, Atlanta Bread Company offers a wide variety from hot soups and chili to hot and cold sandwiches and paninis. Even breakfast selections topped off with your choice of piping hot coffees. Come see for yourself. You'll love it. The Atlanta Bread Company at Cherrydale Point, proud sponsors of the Furman Paladins and the Dan Scott Show.
Looking for a good lunch spot in the Travelers Rest area? The Cafe at Williams Hardware is your place. Williams Hardware has food for the whole family, from the famous Reuben to the barbecue chicken quesadilla and their daily lunch specials, which includes the award-winning BLT on pimento cheese with pepper jelly, served Tuesday to Thursday. Williams Hardware also serves breakfast on Saturdays from 8 to 11, perfect before Furman home game. And don't forget their gift shop, which offers items for anyone on your list. Go see your friends at the Cafe at Williams Hardware, 13 South Main Street in downtown TR. Full menu and operating hours at the cafe at williamshardware.com.
So you've got a busted phone or tablet screen. Time to get a new device? Nope. Time to give it CPR. CPR Cell Phone Repair at Cherrydale can repair almost any phone or tablet screen on the market and usually can do it same day. In fact, if you have an iPhone, the fix usually takes less than an hour. CPR Cell Phone Repair also can fix computers and gaming systems, both screens and hard drives. And they sell refurbished devices and new accessories. Stop by and see the new owner, Janet Culver, today and check them out on Facebook. That's CPR Cell Phone Repair at Cherrydale, 864-282-9097. Give it CPR today. .10:48 and down the stretch we come. Final segment of the show, final segment of the week. And a roar goes up from the crowd as always. We are very happy to have you with us here on the program as we get back to play. A word about OpSource Staffing. You see their logo there on screen. Connecting lives for the better. OpSource Staffing is an independent, faith-based, privately held staffing, recruiting, and workforce management company that began in 2007, and its mission was and is to serve and connect great people with great companies. At OpSource, it's all about the relationship and not the transaction. They believe that by building relationships, they'll become an integral part of your overall staffing experience. They currently have 5 branches: Greenville, Spartanburg, Gaffney, Charleston, and Arden, North Carolina, and primarily they're providing contractors to companies in the manufacturing business, everything from welders and pipe fitters all the way down to skilled trades, CNC operators, production, inventory control, industrial labor, and everything in between. Find out more by giving them a call at 866-870-8133, 866-870-8133, or online at opsourcestaffing.com. All right, our thanks to Brett Harker. If you missed any of that interview or you'd like to see it again, we'll be putting it up on YouTube and tweeting it out here in just a little while. But first, before we do anything else, I want to hear from Daniel Fowler from last night. You heard Bob Ritchie before the Harker interview, and now here's what Daniel Fowler had to say following the Paladins' loss to ETSU 62-61.
Hours later, you back almost again to get right back out there and try to flush this one behind you.
I mean, of course we would have liked to get this one, and I mean it's going to hurt, but knowing that we got a quick turnaround, it kind of takes our mind off of it. But this one would definitely sting for the night, and then tomorrow's a new day, so we have to bounce back, refocus.
Sure. What has been, obviously you faced very good teams the last two times out, but it seems like y'all giving up more three-pointers than usual the last two games.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of goes into that? I thought you defended really well against their penetrators.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big part of their offense. I guess that's kind of the trade-off, is it not?
Just being undisciplined. We know that we got to be quick in the gaps and then recover. So, I mean, just knowing that they're drivers, maybe being a little over-aggressive, wanting to get the raid, but, I mean, we just got to refocus and then stick to our defensive principles.
Yeah. I thought on the last possession, Coach Ritchie said he didn't want to call timeout because he thought it would take too long maybe to get the ball up, and it looked like they defended really well. I think you caught the ball, maybe. What did it feel like to you on the clock?
When I caught it, I looked up, and it was 0.6, and so I kind of had to heave it, but.
Yeah. I know, nobody is happy with the loss, but that's a really, really fine team. You get another shot at it later on. But I guess in this SoCon, you have to just you can't look to that game yet until it's the next game.
Yeah, you just got to take it one game at a time, actually like one day at a time. And so knowing that we got to come to practice tomorrow even more focused than we were for this game, detail-oriented, understanding the game plan, coming up and executing it.
Thanks,
Dan. Mm-hmm.
There you go. Some comments from Daniel Fowler following the 62-61 loss last night to the ETSU Bucks. That was a heck of a basketball game. And again, we thought it would be, knowing that East Tennessee State had come in undefeated in the conference, and they leave at 6-0 in the league. So now they've got a 2-game lead over Furman, 1 game up on Wofford, who won down at Samford last night in a thriller. So as the first half of this conference season starts to wind down a little bit, they have set themselves up clearly as the team to beat now. But one more shot, one more defensive stand, and the outcome is different at Timmons last night. I can tell you this: get to the final game of the regular season in Johnson City. That is going to be one heck of an atmosphere. It was last year. It was one of the best college basketball games that I've ever been associated with at Freedom Hall in Johnson City. And, of course, Furman lost that one in overtime. But it was a great atmosphere, high intensity, and expect nothing but the same here as we continue on. So, anyway, that was Daniel Fowler, and now the Paladins turn their attention to Samford coming up on Saturday afternoon. That will be a 4:30 start. It'll be the second game of another men's-women's doubleheader at Timmons Arena. So you have a chance to come out and catch both teams in action. The radio pregame will start at 4 p.m., and then Bryant, Lambert, and I will have the call at 4:30 as Furman tries to put a 2-game losing streak to bed now and get their 5th conference win in the first 7 games against Scott Padgett's Samford Bulldogs. That'll be coming up on Saturday. And a lot of other things going on this weekend as well. College basketball, of course, all across the country. And the AFC and NFC championship games. By the time this weekend is over, we will know who will be playing in Super Bowl 52 up in Minneapolis. And the NFL is going to have a bit of a dilemma. I don't say dilemma on its hands, but something that it hasn't had to deal with in a long, long time, and maybe ever. I can't remember. I have to go back and look. Miami, in the early days of the Super Bowl, may have played a Super Bowl at the Orange Bowl. But it's been a long time since something like that has happened, if that was the case. And now the Minnesota Vikings are a win away from playing in their home stadium in Super Bowl 52. And wouldn't that be interesting? We were up there, I guess it was 3 years ago now, for Furman basketball when Nico Medved at the time took the team up there. And, we saw the construction that was just about to finish and would get them into that stadium the following year. They were playing, the Vikings were at the Minnesota Gophers Stadium, which was right across the street from the basketball facility downtown. But we got to see the construction in its final stages of the brand new facility. And now here they are hosting the Super Bowl. And it could be the Vikings playing in that Super Bowl. And they're coming off of course, just a ridiculous win last week to eliminate the Saints. Before we wrap it up, need to remind you about our friends at Ridge Media. Kenny and the gang there want you to know that they are a one-stop shop based here in Greenville. They do logo, print, and web design, as well as search engine optimization and marketing. Their clients range from startups to Fortune 500 companies, and they're locally owned, a marketing firm with offices in both Greenville and Charleston. Call today to schedule a free consultation, 864-354-6175, 864-354-6175. That is for Ridge Media. And as always, please tell them that you heard about them right here on the Dan Scott Show. And having said that, that is going to put a wrap on things for us today. We appreciate your time. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us. We'll be back with you on Monday to wrap up a weekend, hopefully talking about a Furman basketball win that snaps this brief 2-game losing streak and setting you up for another big week. And aren't they all big this time of year? Have yourself a great weekend. Hope to see you out at Timmons Arena coming up tomorrow afternoon for the men's-women's doubleheader beginning at 2 p.m. The men play at 4:30 against the Sanford Bulldogs. Until then, for Brett Harker, thank him for joining us again. I'm Dan Scott. God bless you. So long, everybody. We'll see you on Monday.